very many blessings to, first of all, our dearest Chief Reverend Bante Shanti, and all of you for taking an effort to come here and attend to this Dhamma sharing. Of course, I'm happy today with another talk to share with you. I think from the very inception I was here, I have been giving some Dhamma talks, some enlightening talks here for the benefit of the followers of IBMC. And I'm really glad to be here even today with another enlightening talk, as I think. So you all are welcome to IBMC, and I would like to say that I'm of course happy to have this kind of Sunday service from 11 to 12 on every Sunday. So it's my duty and responsibility to give a meaning for your coming here and taking an effort, of course, to listen to this Dhamma, enlightening speaking. When we look at the world and the way how people are doing their things, some people tend to be very clever, and they think that they are the foremost and they are the highest people who have achieved, who have mastered many things in this world. Suppose if somebody has mastered in sports, he thinks that he is the masterminded person and the fully perfect person in that field. Suppose if somebody is endowed with many skills and talents in literature, he thinks that he is the best and the foremost figure in literature. So like that, when we talk about music, politics, sports, and many other fields in this world, people think that I am the best person. I am the superb one who have ever made a difference in the history of mankind. So in that case, psychologically, and if we go very deeper into a person's consciousness and personality, to have such a belief and feeling in one's life is natural. I mean, if we are to talk psychologically, because everybody are egocentric, and we think that I am the best person in this world. Just for instance, if we talk about a person's beauty, and we think that I'm the most beautiful person, I'm the most handsome one in this world. So like that, we have different kinds of implications, feelings, and consciousness, the way how we look at ourselves and the world, and the place, the state of at the moment we are now. So with that introduction, I would like to tell you something about the Buddha's character, to live a very happy life, and how we should improve and cultivate a mature personality. So today I would like to speak. It is of course all about, if I would like to say, how to be impressed with a mature personality in one's life, like Buddha's character, in the way that nobody can challenge it. Since Buddhists and even the non-Buddhists, they believe that Buddha, the one who got the enlightenment, as we call the Gautama, the Buddha, he had a superb, a kind of extraordinary personality in his character. So Buddha needs even his followers to be the same personalities, to represent the same personality until we reach the final salvation, the Nibbana. So, so how to be impressed with a superb personality, mature personality. I mean, at the end of my talk, my idea, what I want to share with you and impress you is the idea that how we can live with a very flexible personalities, and how we should have a very humble character in this world with a mature personality. On one occasion, Buddha addressed his two disciples. As you know, I wonder whether you may have heard, Buddha had two disciples. Of course, he had many other disciples, but the Buddha had, two major disciples. One of them is so familiar with you. I think, if I am not mistaken, I have mentioned his name here, and even the other monks and even the other speakers have talked about him. And sometimes when you go through this chanting book, when you recite the chanting book of the IBMC, you may have heard the sutra, Heart Sutra, where that the chief disciple come across. You may come across. His name is Shariputra, and the other one is called the Moggallana. So those were the two figures of, as we call the two major disciples of the Buddha. So on one occasion, it's very interesting the way how the Buddha bring this fact into account of the Shariputra. So he told the Shariputra that Buddha is a perfect person, and there is nobody in this world to challenge him if it is to be noticed from four different corners, four different perspectives. So he says to live in this world without fear and braveness and dauntlessness. He has mastered, four areas in his enlightenment. those 4 areas, 4 aspects cannot be challenged by anybody in this world. Even the scientists, rationalists, free thinkers, I mean including this human world, even the deities, supernatural powers, and any other being in this world, in this whole universe, there is nobody to find to challenge his knowledge, his perfect knowledge. Of course, this is not an idea of mine. This is the Buddha's idea. Because recently when I was going through some news and political arena of the present day, now we know that it's the presidential election is at hand, and the two figures, they are both of them are clinging at at each other with different kinds of ideas, and one of them think that he is the best person for the presidential election, and the other one thinks that he is the foremost one, or like that. They are exchanging very warming, and at the same time very heartiest ideas towards each other. Instead of course, I'm not here to talk anything about the election or politics. Politics is a dirty game, I have to say that. Politics is a dirty game. Whatever the way we look at it, or wherever we go in the world, it's a dirty game. Anyway, those who come into politics, of course, they may do something good to this world, but when we look at the way how those two figures are exchanging words and ideas towards each other, this is what I felt. Instead of talking economy, foreign policy, and the security of this country, if they tend to go on talking about their own character and weaknesses, weak points, I don't know how we are to imagine a better world in if we start it from USA, America. Anyway, I just took this example to say that Buddha, the Gautama, the Buddha is not of such a person. And Buddha addressing the Shariputra, this his highest noble disciple, he says the first thing like this: if there is somebody to accuse me, saying that I have not realized the essential things to be taken for the Buddhahood, the perfect enlightenment, there is nobody to challenge in that way. That means to reject the Buddha's Buddhahood, his perfect knowledge. There is nobody in this world. So this is the first aspect of the Buddha's four cornerstones of his perfect, in other words, the matured personality. The first one. So there is nobody to challenge, saying that you have not realized the essential things, what ought to be taken for the Buddhahood, the perfect knowledge. That means there is nobody to reject his Buddhahood, his perfect knowledge. Then, of course, there are some people in the world, you may have heard that they don't believe the Buddha's perfect knowledge. In other words, his arahantship. Arahantship means once somebody reaches the highest position of his consciousness, developing his consciousness, he is called an arahant. He has no he has no attachments in this world. He has given up everything. We believe that so long as we acquire something, we hold something, we achieve something, we are free, we are happy, and the peace that we experience by achieving those things is the greatest thing that we can do in this world. Of course, according to Buddhism, if you can if you can give up something, and if you can go on practicing giving up, that's where you can experience the real bliss, the real happiness according to Buddhism. As far as you are attached to something, and as far as you try your best to acquire something into your life for the name of what you understand as happiness, the suffering is more. So you should have the ability to give up everything. According to Buddhism, if your goal is to achieve the the highest knowledge, perfection. So Buddha addressed the chief disciple Shariputra, saying that I am perfect in that case. My knowledge is perfect, my Buddhahood is perfect, and no one can challenge it. So with that, I live in this world with fearlessness, dauntlessness, and braveness. That braveness, no one can say to the world that he is also with braveness and fearlessness in this world. He is also living in this world with braveness. Okay, that's the first one. If I come to the second one, Buddha says his chief disciple Sariputra again, there is nobody in this world to accuse me, to challenge me, saying that I have not eliminated the cankers, the taints up to the highest position. In other words, what are those taints and cankers? Whatever the things spoil our mind, the bad ideas, okay? Bad thoughts are referred to as taints, cankers according to Buddhism. And at the same time, not only the bad thoughts, even some good thoughts, if we attach to them, and if it leads us to prolong this circle of birth and death, that is also called taints and cankers. So Buddha is a person who has eliminated, who has deleted all the cankers and bad thoughts from his mind, unskillful thoughts from his mind. Because of that reason, he is called a fully enlightened person. So Buddha says that in the second area, aspect, if there is somebody in this world to challenge me that I have not yet eliminated the cankers, totally eliminated, deleted the cankers, the taints, the bad thoughts from my mind, there is nobody to say such a thing in this world. No one can say such a thing. So in that case, I am perfect. I have got the mastership. I am a masterminded person. I am the foremost person in that case. Somebody can accuse him with, without a base. But we are not ready to accept that, because so long as we are not dedicated, a person is not dedicated to achieve, to understand the real meaning of our life, and it's something impossible. To challenge the Buddha. That's the second one. Okay, the first one is there is nobody to reject his perfect knowledge, his Buddhahood. There is nobody to say that Buddha has never ever eliminated the cankers, taints from his mind. third one. In the third aspect, Buddha says that, Shariputra, there is nobody in this world, human beings, deities, supernatural beings, and any other powerful beings in this world to challenge that. The things I have said, I have explained as dangerous, and if somebody follows those dangerous things in this world, and if somebody is engaged in those dangerous things, it's okay for him. You follow as you like. Dangerous things are there in this world according to me, Buddha says. I have explained them. For instance, killing beings is not a good thing. And at the same time, to hurt somebody is not a good thing. If you hurt somebody, definitely you will get it in return. No one can say that, okay, you can go on hurting somebody, you can kill anybody, you can tell lies. For instance, you just think about the thing I told you earlier. If you hurt somebody, Buddha says that you will get the same. Today itself, or tomorrow, or maybe after a few days. At least in this life itself. Suppose if you do not get the results in this life itself, we Buddhists believe that we have a next rebirth, and definitely we will get the result, okay, the repercussion in your next life. So Buddha says that never ever hurt anybody by your words, by your actions, by your thoughts. It's not good. It's dangerous. One day you'll have to pay for that. So Buddha says that those are the dangerous things. And at the same time, as pleasure-seeking beings, we human beings, we tend to hurt some people and to grab some the belongings of others, and with that we hope that we can live a very happy and peaceful life. But one day definitely you'll have to pay for that. We have no right to violate the other's rights. So because of that reason, Buddha addressed the chief disciple with the third fact, saying that there is nobody in this world to challenge the obstructions preached by me. If somebody followed them, are not dangerous in this life. So that's the third category. Buddha is perfect in that case. Buddha has got the braveness. He has got the fearlessness, the dauntlessness. In other words, he is not wavering in those three fields. His knowledge is perfect. Second one, he has completely eliminated the taints, the bad thoughts from his mind. Third one, he has proclaimed the obstructions, the dangerous things, with a full understanding and with full experience, or I can say the full experience life. He has experienced all these things in his long way of sansaric life. Okay, that's the third one. Fourth one, he says that I have preached the doctrine, my teaching. I have well said my teaching. And if somebody follows my teaching and tries to practice it, there will be no results. There will be no benefits. Don't follow the Gautama Buddha's teaching. That teaching is something in vain. It's useless. Because it does not bring the results as we expect, as we wish. Buddha says in this case also, there is nobody to challenge my teaching also. If somebody follows my teaching is something designed to put an end to all the sufferings in this world, and at the same time to lead a very happy life. Of course, though our life is entangled with dived in many suffering, Buddha says that until we reach the final salvation, of course, we have to live a very happy and peaceful life. It doesn't matter. Though that is the truth, we have to understand it. Anyway, Buddha's teaching, his doctrine, in other words, let me put it in another, in a very simple way, his teaching, whatever we call it doctrine, it's a kind of, spiritual counseling. It's a kind of spiritual counseling. And if somebody is dedicated and he has the devotion to follow that doctrine, his spiritual counseling, definitely that spiritual counseling will take you to the final salvation as we understand the Nibbana, the salvation, the perfect knowledge. Once you come to that state, the wonderful thing is you feel that I'm perfect, I'm brave, I have got the fearlessness. There is nothing in this world to get feared, get scared. I'm totally free now. So that may be yours last birth also. According to Buddhism, if you come to such a state, and if you feel that that sensation, and that is where you feel that you are totally free and you are totally perfect in this world. In other words, you are an arahant, a person who has realized the final salvation. There is nothing in this world to do anymore. So those are the 4 areas. There is nobody to reject his Buddhahood. There is nobody to accuse him with his taints. Third one, there is nobody to challenge the obstructions preached by the Buddha. Lastly, finally, there is nobody to challenge his doctrine, his teaching. Those are the 4 areas. He has practiced. Buddha says that, Shariputra, I have practiced all these areas in my whole life, even in my previous births also. It has no end. So like this, he said, that is how we can live with a very impressed, personal, mature personality in our life. And today I thought of giving this, Dhamma talk, this enlightening talk, because of the, present day political arena and the things happening in the world. We think that I'm the best person, but suppose Sigmund Freud, the greatest psychologist who lived in this world, once he believed that, and some of his followers also believed that he is the foremost and greatest psychologist who has ever lived in this world. But in a later period of time, with many explorations about the consciousness, people believe that, and today they are not ready to accept that idea. I mean, they are not ready to accept Sigmund Freud as the highest, the superb psychologist in this world. But in that period, he believed that he may be the perfect person. So I must say that why I thought of sharing this kind of a Dhamma sharing with you. If you also need to be a perfect person, a matured person, don't let anybody to come and challenge your character. Try your best to have a perfect, personality, matured personality. Try your best to practice, good thoughts, actions, until you take your last breath. And at the same time, I must say that before I come to an end in my Dhamma sharing, this, enlightening talk, I thought of, exchanging my ideas with you like this, as a speaker, and at the same time as a tribute to a well experienced and highly dedicated musician who passed away over the past few days in Sri Lanka. And we didn't earlier have a our own music system or music culture called Sinhalese music. He was the person, and his name is W.D. Amardev. And today the whole country is lamenting. The country is, is shocked because of his death. And we, irrespective of any race, politicians, monks, religious people, ordinary people, he touched every one of hearts in our country, and he came to a highest position in music. He was highly impressed by the Western music, specifically by the Indian music, and he did a yeoman and wonderful service to our country, Sri Lanka, and he is no more. And once after I heard his death, I was also greatly shocked, because his music always talks about the reality of our life, and he was highly impressed by the Buddhism, and he did respect the other cultures, and he was a very, very humble person, being a very perfect person in music. So I must say that he is a maestro, a master, really a master in music. So that's why I thought of exchanging some 4 aspects of the Buddha's braveness, fearlessness also with you, if you are to put an end to this suffering. So with that, I would like to conclude my speech, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.